So back in July at this year's 2025 ICAST, Abu Garcia was conspicuously absent, and it turns out they didn't even have a booth for the event. But what I was told by some subscribers was that Abu Garcia, as well as their parent company, Pure Fishing, was supposed to have their own event later on, where they would show the world a bunch of new products. Now, to be honest, I didn't have a clue where this event would take place or how I would be able to watch it, but it was in the back of my head to keep a lookout for this event to see what new products Abu Garcia was going to come out with. Well, turns out that while I missed any kind of event that may have happened, Abu Garcia has come out with a whole slew of brand new baitcasters, and in this video, we're going to check them out. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give my opinion on Abu Garcia and the direction they seem to be heading. So let's get started. Now for this video, we're going to get all our information straight from Abu Garcia's website. And I've already conveniently filtered out all the reels, starting with the newest first. And boom, check out all these new baitcasters from Abu Garcia. Looks like there's 8 and 10. Looks like they've come out with 10 new reels. And let's quickly go over them one by one. Now the first is what looks to be a new Max X, or most of us know it as the Black Max. And that's kind of strange because the previous Black Max or Max X is not even that old, but they've already replaced it. And what's glaringly obvious is that most of the red color accents have disappeared. And they're going with a black frame and dark gray side plates. Oh, there's some red right there, the nut retainer. And obviously they've changed the max frame to the asymmetrical frames that they're using in their REVO series. So since this is just a basic entry-level reel, not surprisingly, it's going to have a graphite frame and side plates, 6.8:1 gear ratio, MagTrax brake system, 5+1 bearings. So basically, all the same features of the previous Black Max just transferred over into a new frame. And the price on this reel is $70. Now, some of us remember the days where you can go to Walmart and pick up a Black Max for $40, even though the retail price was $50, but it looks like those days are long gone. Alright, so next up is a Max SX flipping switch low profile reel, and then right next to it is the Max XX low profile reel. So let's go to just a regular SX, and it's just a nondescript black reel. Also has a red nut retainer, asymmetrical frame, and $89.99, so $90. So why is this reel $20 more than the standard Max? So it's got 2 extra bearings, graphite body and side plate still, MagTrax braking, 6.8:1. So I mean, other than a couple extra bearings, you are still looking at a graphite frame and side plates for an extra $20. So I have no clue as to why someone would spend the extra money to get the SX over the regular Max X. But if someone knows if there's any kind of difference I missed between the two reels, let me know in the comments. But apparently the Max SX flipping switch reel, of course, has that little button or switch right here. I've blown it up for you guys. That gives it its name, SX flipping. Same red nut retainer, same asymmetrical frame. Yep, everything's the same as the regular SX, just has a flipping switch. For those of you who don't know what a flipping switch is, the technique of flipping requires that you hold the line with one hand and you slowly drop it into the water. Now, if you're holding the line with one hand and you're holding the reel with the other, you can't engage the reel by turning the handle, so you just press that switch and the clutch will come back up and the reel will be engaged, ready for a hook set. It's a very short distance fishing technique that is rarely used outside of high-level bass tournaments. All right, so now we have Max Pro low profile reel, and this is the much better looking reel. It's got a black frame, white side plates, more red accents. Looks like there's only one picture of it, but this retails for $110. All right, let's see if they've added something to this reel to give it such a big price jump over the others. All right, so 8+1 bearings, still a graphite body and side plates. What the? Magtrax brake system, just like the others. Carbon matrix drag system with 20 pounds. Maybe that's a little bit higher. Looks like the knobs may be a little bit fancier. Gear ratio is a little bit higher at 7.5 to 1. I mean, other than the color scheme, I mean, it's basically the same as the regular Max X, just a lot more money. All right, let's go to the next one. Ooh, this sounds interesting. The Max Predator, $149 to $169. All right, so all black reel. Looks like they're keeping the old frame, which is symmetrical and much better looking, in my opinion. But it only comes in lower gear ratios, 6.4 to 1 and 5.3 to 1. But it looks like it has a massive spool that's pretty deep, as you can see. So this might be a big bait reel. And yeah, it says the new Abu Garcia Max Predator LP reels have been specifically designed for anglers who are fishing with big baits targeting large fish. Designed with larger line capacity and high max drags, blah blah blah. Target everything from bass to musky fishing. So 4+1 bearings, but the frame and side blades have been upgraded from graphite to C6 carbon. Longer handle, 95 mil, same Magtrax brake system, and apparently they have two sizes. I guess that's the price difference, a 300 and a 400 size, and the 300 size has 20 pounds max drag and the 400 has 26 pounds max drag. So I mean, problem with this is that, does anyone really fish big baits with any reels that have graphite or carbon frames and side plates? I remember a couple of years ago I did a video on the PISCIFUN LEWS. It was only like 99 bucks. It's like a 300 capacity reel, but it had an aluminum frame. So yeah, I guess if you are just on a strict budget and you want to keep it with Abu Garcia, then this is your option when it comes to big bait reels. All right, so the Max SX winch low profile, $89.99. So you got the Max SX standard, the flipping, and then the winch, which if I'm not mistaken is just like a low gear ratio version. And yeah, so it's basically a slow 5.6 to 1 gear ratio version of the Max SX. Everything else is the same bearing count, same graphite frame and side plates, same brake system, but it looks like the color accents are going to be like a dark silver instead of red, which is smart to separate it out from the other reels visually. All right, so next up, the Max Elite Rocket for $150. So this is a reel that's going to have to compete with the mighty Shimano SLX XT, as well as the new TATULA X. Well, I'd say new, it's not new, it's old, but quote unquote new TATULA X, which both are around the $150 price point. But it's got two-tone, black frame, dark gray side plates, red accents, asymmetrical frame, and it says the Abu Garcia Max Elite LP reels flow down technology from the REVO 5 platform into a LP platform that offers performance reels at a great price point. Blah blah blah. 90mm handle and a 9.0 to 1 gear ratio. So that's the party trick of the Max Elite Rocket, is that it has a really high gear ratio. 9+1 bearings, carbon frame, and side plates. So yeah, this is going to be a tough sell at this price point once again, due to its competition from Shimano and DAIWA and probably LEWS as well. And I know that the SLX XT and the TATULA X have aluminum frames, but if you need the ultra fast 9.0 to 1 gear ratio in this price point, it looks like the Max Elite Rocket is going to be your only option. Alright, so it looks like they are coming out with, or I guess updating their Beast big bait reels, starting with the Beast 300. And as you can see, they're using the asymmetrical frame, but the Beast 300, it's got a huge spool that's super deep, and it's coming with these power knobs. Alright, it says designed for cranking power, drag performance, and durability, the Beast 300 has been completely redesigned to give anglers a large format, low profile reel that is easy to palm, giving anglers stopping power, designed for throwing A-rigs and swim baits up to 8 inches. Alright, so for $300, this better have an aluminum frame, and it does. It says X2 Craftic aluminum frame and handle side plate. So the frame and the handle side plate is aluminum, which is good. Comes with a drag clicker. Oversized brass Dura gear Gen 3. I don't know what that means. Infinity brake system. 95mm. So the Infinity brake system is basically the dual centrifugal and magnetic brake system, which for $300 it better have something better than Magtrax. But this reel also has some tough competition from Shimano and DAIWA, as DAIWA has their TATULA 300, and of course Shimano just came out with a Tranx B300 with the core solid frame, the micro gears, the SBS Infinity monster drive tune. But in the Beast 300's defense, it is $50 cheaper than the Tranx. So yeah, the 300 size big bait reel has been updated for Abu Garcia, and it says coming soon a 400 size for $350, and it looks just like the 300. Jeez, those are some massive knobs. Look at that. And look at this drag star. They're trying to do something different with the drag star, and look at the handle. And check out that lock nut. That is very JDM-esque design right there. Yeah, those are some huge knobs. Look at that. So for $350, I expect that this is going to be just like the 300 size, just with a bigger spool and bigger handle. Drag clicker, Gen 3 brass gear gear system, 30 pounds of drag. Of course, X2 Craftic aluminum frame and handle side plate, and the Infinity brake system. So yeah, this must be what they recommend for swim baits over 8 inches. But let me go back to the 300. Did they give it a fancy handle? They kind of did the same thing with the drag star, but they didn't give it the fancy lock nut. Okay. Well, it looks like that's it for the new releases from Abu Garcia. Of course, I'm not really interested in spinning reels, and there were no new round reels released. Looks like a bunch of these reels are going on sale. The Xenon LTX BFS on sale for $549. That's what they were sold for, at least originally. I guess the price went up. So I wonder if, well, this is a perfect segue into me talking about Abu Garcia. Now, I thought it was a mistake for them to release the asymmetrical frames, not for any kind of performance reason. It's just that they looked ugly. And whether you want to admit it or not, real looks do play a part in the buying decision. So I wonder if all these reels going on sale means they're going to be coming out with an all new frame and body. But I'm going to be honest, ever since I started this channel and really paying attention to what reel manufacturers are doing, Abu Garcia has been the most stagnant. What they do is they just take the same technology from the previous reels and then just stick it into a new frame and body. They haven't come out with any kind of new technology in decades. Now, things that they have come up with are the IVCB flying arm centrifugal system, which they came out with, decades ago, and haven't really improved it or evolved it in any meaningful way. And of course, they have their version of the short spool shaft called the Infinity spool shaft or something like that. But other than that, they have just been using MagTrax brakes or the dual braking system on the rest of their reels, and literally they have come out with nothing new in at least 20 years, if not more. I do know they're kind of hamstrung by relying on Doyo Korea to make their reels for them, and Doyo also makes reels for LEWS, which is a competitor, and it looks like LEWS is getting all the new Doyo technology, like their dynamic brake system that they've come out with. So to me, it looks like Abu Garcia is kind of slowly fading away. Now, of course, I could be wrong. They could be selling like hotcakes. And if they are selling like hotcakes and I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Because I do know that when I first started my channel, I asked a Bass Pro Shop employee what their best-selling reels were, and he told me the REVOs. Of course, that was like 8 years ago. But anyway, looks like there's a bunch of new reels from Abu Garcia. Mainly they're focusing on their entry-level Max series, but let's hope they turn it around and give us some genuinely new reel technology in the future. Alright guys, thanks a lot.